Ever wondered what happens when you take that first bite of your favorite meal? Well, let's delve into the fascinating journey of food in our bodies, starting with the process of ingestion. You see, ingestion is simply the fancy term for eating. It's the process where the food first enters our body through the mouth. Now, you might think that digestion begins in the stomach, but you'd be mistaken. The truth is, digestion actually begins in your mouth. Yes, that's right. The moment you take that first bite, enzymes present in your saliva spring into action. These enzymes start breaking down the food, initiating the process of digestion. And what about chewing? Well, chewing is more than just a way to make food easier to swallow. It breaks down food into smaller pieces, making it easier for your body to absorb the nutrients later on. So, the next time you take a bite, remember, that's where the journey of your food begins in your body. Swallowed your food, let's see where it goes next. After you've savored and swallowed your food, it doesn't just drop into your stomach. Oh no, it embarks on an incredible journey through a muscular tube called the esophagus. This isn't a free-fall ride, folks. The esophagus uses a process known as peristalsis, a wave of muscle contractions, to propel your food downwards. Imagine a gentle wave pushing a surfer towards the shore. That's what happens in your esophagus. These contractions are quite fascinating. The muscles behind the food ball or bolus contract, pushing it forward, while the muscles ahead of it relax, making way for it. This push and relax rhythm ensures a smooth passage of the bolus from your throat to your stomach. It's like a well-choreographed dance, with each muscle playing its part to perfection. A marvelous example of nature's engineering, wouldn't you agree? And just like that, your food has embarked on a smooth ride down to your stomach. Welcome to the stomach, where your food takes a dip in a pool of acids. Now that might sound a bit terrifying, but it's actually a crucial part of the digestion process. Here's how it works. Picture this. You've just had a delicious meal. As you swallow, your food travels down your esophagus and lands in your stomach. But your stomach is not just a storage unit for your food. It's essentially a chemical processing plant that breaks down your food further, preparing it for nutrient extraction. Think of your stomach as a mixer. It churns your food around and around, mixing it with gastric acid. This acid is highly potent, with a pH level of around 1 to 3. That's similar to the acidity of battery acid. This might sound scary, but don't worry. Your stomach lining has a thick mucus layer that protects it from the acid. This churning process and the potent gastric acid work together to break down the food into a semi-liquid substance. We call this substance chyme. Chyme is easier for your body to digest, and it's the semi-liquid mixture that will move on to the next stage of digestion in the small intestine. But the stomach doesn't just churn aimlessly. It has a rhythm, contracting and relaxing at regular intervals to ensure that every bit of food gets mixed thoroughly with the gastric acid. This rhythmic motion, combined with the potent acid, ensures that even the toughest of foods are broken down effectively. So while the thought of your food being bathed in a pool of acids might seem a bit daunting, it's an essential part of the digestion process. The stomach's unique ability to churn food and mix it with gastric acid ensures that your body can extract the maximum amount of nutrients from everything you eat, and there you have it. The stomach isn't just a storage place for your food, it's a sophisticated chemical processing plant that breaks down your food and prepares it for nutrient extraction. So the stomach isn't just a food storage place, it's a key player in the digestion process. Now let's follow your food to the small intestine, the nutrient extraction site. The small intestine is a long coiled tube where the real magic of digestion happens. It's here that nutrients from the food you eat get absorbed into your bloodstream. You might wonder, how does this happen? Well, the process is as fascinating as it is complex. Imagine the small intestine as a bustling marketplace, where nutrients are the commodities. The walls of this marketplace or the intestine are lined with tiny finger-like structures called villi. These villi increase the surface area of the intestine, making it easier to absorb nutrients. They are like the eager sellers in our marketplace, ready to grab the nutrients or the commodities. Now, the food that enters the small intestine is still in a semi-digested state, a soupy mixture known as chyme. This is where our helpers, the enzymes from the pancreas and bile from the liver, come into play. The pancreas produces enzymes that break down proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Think of these enzymes as the negotiators, breaking down the commodities into smaller, manageable pieces. Meanwhile, the liver produces bile, which is stored and concentrated in the gallbladder. When needed, bile is released into the small intestine. Bile acts like a detergent, breaking fats into tiny droplets. This process, known as emulsification, makes it easier for the pancreatic enzymes to further break down fats. Once these nutrients are broken down into their smallest components, simple sugars, amino acids, and fatty acids, they are ready to be absorbed. The villi, with their hair-like extensions called microvilli, reach out and absorb these nutrients. They then pass them into the bloodstream, where they are transported to different parts of the body for use. So, in a nutshell, the small intestine, with the help of enzymes and bile, breaks down food into its most basic components, which are then absorbed by the villi and transported to the rest of the body. And there you have it. Your body has now extracted the necessary nutrients from your food. Next stop, the large intestine, your body's water recycling center. Imagine this. You've just enjoyed a hearty meal and your body has been hard at work extracting all the necessary nutrients. But what about all that leftover indigestible food matter? That's where the large intestine comes into play. This roughly 5-foot-long organ serves as your body's waste management system. But it's not just about getting rid of the leftovers. The large intestine has a crucial role in absorbing water and electrolytes, ensuring your body stays well hydrated and balanced. The large intestine is like a sponge, soaking up water from the indigestible food matter and sending it back into your bloodstream. This process is vital for maintaining your body's fluid balance and preventing dehydration. It's a bit like the recycling system we have for waste management, except this one happens inside your body, and it's all about water. But the large intestine isn't just a one-trick pony. It also absorbs electrolytes, including sodium, potassium, and chloride. These electrolytes help regulate nerve and muscle function, pH balance, and hydration. By absorbing these essential electrolytes, the large intestine contributes to your overall well-being and health. After the large intestine has done its job absorbing water and electrolytes, it's time for the final transformation. The leftover indigestible food matter, now devoid of most of its water, is converted into feces. This is a mixture of undigested food, bacteria, cells shed from the lining of the gut, and water. It's not the most pleasant of topics, but it's a crucial part of how your body handles the food you eat. And there you have it. The large intestine, an unsung hero of the digestive system. It takes on the remnants of your meals, absorbs essential water and electrolytes, and transforms what's left into something your body can safely and efficiently expel. Your body sure knows how to make the most of what you eat, doesn't it? Finally, we've reached the end of the journey. Time for excretion. With the nutrients absorbed and the water reclaimed, our body is left with the waste materials. This is where the rectum and the anus come into play, acting as the exit doors for these unwanted guests. It's important to note that the waste isn't just an annoying byproduct of the digestive process. It's a crucial part of the system, helping to maintain the balance and health of our bodies. The waste material is made up of undigested food, dead cells, bacteria, and other substances your body doesn't need. Now let's talk about the rectum. This is the final stop in the digestive system before the waste leaves the body. It's essentially a holding station, storing the waste until it's ready to be expelled. When the rectum fills up, nerve signals are sent to the brain, letting it know that it's time to go. Next up is the anus, the final point of exit. It's a pretty smart piece of biological engineering. It's equipped with 2 rings of muscle known as sphincters. The inner one is involuntary, meaning it opens and closes without us having to think about it. The outer one, however, is under our conscious control. This allows us to decide when it's the right time and place to go. Regular bowel movements are crucial for overall health. They help to keep the digestive system running smoothly, prevent constipation, and reduce the risk of colon disease. So while it might not be the most glamorous part of the digestive process, excretion is just as important as every other stage. And there you have it, the fascinating journey of food in your body from ingestion to excretion. So, what's the story of digestion in a nutshell? Well, it all begins with ingestion, the moment when you take that first delicious bite. Your food then embarks on a remarkable journey down the esophagus, a muscular tube that guides your meal to its next stop, the stomach. Here, a pool of powerful acids works tirelessly to break down the food, preparing it for nutrient extraction in the small intestine. The small intestine is where the magic truly happens. as it extracts and absorbs essential nutrients that fuel our bodies. Next, the large intestine takes over, absorbing water and electrolytes to prevent dehydration. Finally, what remains after this intricate process is excreted from the body, marking the end of a fascinating journey that happens inside us each time we eat. Remember, every bite you take sets off a remarkable journey within your body. So, eat wisely and take care of your digestive system.